Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Clutch Conversations. It's your boy Mike back at you one more again on a Thursday night. How y'all feeling? How y'all living? Man, been looking forward to this all week, man. I hope y'all ready for this because I know I am. But before we get to the guests, first and foremost, shout out to my lovely wife, Takara, for helping us out behind the scenes, controlling the comments, keeping us organized, keeping us on pace. So I really appreciate that. For those of you in the chat, make sure you hit that like button. If it's your first time in the chat, hit that subscribe button. And everybody, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get a notification anytime we drop these videos. Shout out to all the folks who come through later and listen to the replay. And also know that audio recordings for Clutch Conversations are now available on all major podcasting platforms. So go check us out wherever you listen to your podcast. And please follow, rate, review, leave us a comment. It really helps us out. Really appreciate the support. Speaking of the support, make sure you support US Art and US Art Florida. The link for both of those organizations are in the description of this video. We need memberships. We need donations. So tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you're involved in this reptile hobby in any shape, form, or fashion, definitely make sure you support those organizations, helping protect our rights as keepers. Shout out to everybody, all the early birds in the chat. I want to get to you and give you a shout out before we bring our guest on. So I'm gonna go through and holler at you. Zach, bro, what's good, bro? Elbow cough. Thanks for coming out, bro. Constricted connection. Thanks for coming out, fam. We got Bomb City Balls. Kenny, thanks for coming out, bro. Who else? We got Brian 352 Heathen Hatchery. Thanks for coming out. We got to get you on the show, bro. I'm gonna hit you up. Car Shay, thanks for coming out. Jay, what's good? Thanks for coming out. The homie Kent, what's good? Craft Brew Morphology, thanks for coming out. Holly, what's good? Thank you for coming out. Ray, what's good? Thanks for coming out. So I apologize if the audio is choppy, man. I was just talking to them backstage. I see some comments about the audio being choppy. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the audio, man. It's really frustrating me, to be quite honest. Like, we done ran test after test after test, and when we try to replicate the error, it's not coming back. Upgraded the internet, we wired into the internet, checked all the connections, we rearranged some connections, and it's still giving us issues. Like I said, man, we ran test after test after test, couldn't get the error to pop back up, but when we go live for the show, it's messing up. So it's real frustrating, man. We're definitely working on it. I'm gonna mess up the name, but Ruiz Denava, thank you for coming out. Good morning. Where you at? Drop in the comments where you at, because it's nighttime here. Jay, what's up? What's up? Who else we got? Darlene, what's good? What's good? I'm seeing a lot of first timers in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Alvaro, what's good, bro? Thanks for coming out. Clover's Reptiles. Jeremy, what's good, bro? Thanks for coming out. Man, y'all make sure y'all go check out the episode of Clutch Conversations with Bars Exotic Reptiles, man. They had me dying laughing, man. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. Elegant Anomaly, what's good, bro? Thanks for coming out, fam. Got the guest showing love in the chat. Jamie Cadell. I apologize if I said that wrong, but thanks for coming out. I believe this is the first time I saw you in the chat, so definitely hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Got Wayne and Alice from Serpentine. Thanks for coming out. We got Flaming Morphs. Thanks for coming out. Sloan Morphs. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate everybody coming out. So I'm going to stop it right there so we can bring the guests out. So without further ado, we got Will and Audra from Flawless Exotic Creations. Welcome to the show. How y'all doing?
Hi.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah. So how's it sound to y'all? Can y'all hear it? Does it sound choppy to y'all? How's it sound to y'all?
It was weird. It's clear
beginning.
now. At the very beginning, it was real choppy, like we was talking about behind, the scene.
A little
but
crackly.
then it cleared up.
Mm-hmm. It didn't take very long to clear up either.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but I'm glad it's clear now. That's what. So how y'all feeling?
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Feeling great. Feeling amazing.
So real quick, introduce yourselves. Tell everybody about what you do.
All right, you go first, babe.
Well, I'm Audra. This is Will. We're Flawless Exotic Creations. We're out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, or at least we transplanted here anyway.
Yeah.
I'm originally from North Carolina, and he's from Jersey.
Yeah.
So it's like, what, North meets South?
Definitely. With a boom.
Yeah. So yeah, but other than that, I mean, we started out in geckos. 6 years ago, we got flawless crested geckos, and
Right.
then I guess what, a little over a year ago now.
Yeah, it's about 13 months we've been into the ball pythons now.
After him dragging me, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, she had a heavy fear of
I had a
snakes
horrible
in
fear
general.
of snakes.
So she's definitely overcome that fear.
Listen, I had a bad
That's
experience.
what's up. That's what's up.
I had a bad experience.
So you say you had a bad experience with snakes? Yeah, we definitely have to get into that.
It's terrible. But yeah.
And so
pretty
where you
much-
said you're from, Will?
I'm from North New Jersey. So up there, Keys Constrictors, actually, he's from up there as well. And Antoine.
Okay.
So yeah, we all
Yeah,
from North.
yeah. I think they went to the same high school, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they did.
Something like
yeah.
that?
Yeah. I was in a much horrible situation up there as far as schools goes, but much different world coming down to the South than I expected. But I'm very happy I did. I'm thankful I did. I wish I would have came down sooner.
He heard all the horror stories about the South.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, my grandparents
What kind of horror stories you heard?
Well, my grandparents are from the South, and they passed away, but they were pretty much my role models and my parent figures growing up. So when they relocated up north, I mean, they were probably in their, I guess, 80s, if they were still alive now. And so they had to come up through segregation,
Gotcha.
all the prohibition and all that stuff. So I couldn't even get my grandparents to come visit us. Down there, no, he wanted to come and visit the South. So
we're coming back to the South, huh?
Oh, yeah. And let alone, me telling them that my wife is white. Oh yeah, they hit me left and right. Oh man, don't let her get you in trouble.
His grandmommy was not happy.
Yeah, so she also, being from pretty much 100% just like black family, anything ever go wrong, it's always gonna get blamed on her. So it's like, yeah, man, you gotta have some strong shoulders. They gonna say it's because of you.
It's all good. But, I get it.
We're thankful. I mean, we're a match made in heaven, and we're thankful. I'm thankful to have her.
That's what's up. So how did y'all meet?
Well, she was kind of stalking me at the gym.
Whatever.
So, she could.
He definitely stalked me.
Real true story though. The basis of us getting I'm a professional bodybuilder as well, so we were friends first.
I'm interested to
and she
this.
know it's true that
This
we were backstage at my first bodybuilding show ever before I turned pro, and she had to oil me up, and it was over.
Oh my God.
That was pretty much it. That was the turning point.
Well, it was ridiculous because he acted weird first. It was him because I was just helping. Like I was definitely just helping. And he hands me the gloves and he hands me the oil stuff. And I'm like, he was a little, hesitant, I guess, about handing this. I was like, what are you doing? It's not weird. Here, give it to me. So we got to hurry up. And I stuck those gloves on and I poured that stuff in there. And see what it was this is what happened. That stuff fires up in your hands, so it gets hot, so that it'll bring all the blood to the surface. And when I put my hands on him, I was like, ooh.
See, she just
it was love at first rub, huh?
Exactly. There you go. Exactly.
I was like, maybe this is a little weird.
Exactly.
But he definitely kissed me first. So
here she goes.
Look, he is sweating. See.
Making him blush.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're killing us in the comments.
See what you say? Will out here trying to get a helping hand.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't have anybody to help me backstage. I was like, I'll help.
Quickly.
Had it planned out the whole time, huh?
Exactly.
It's a trap.
Oh, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So how did y'all end up getting into reptiles?
So we have 4 children.
Yeah.
And actually, my daughter's in college now, so she comes back and forth. She'll be home tonight. But we were in law enforcement. I was a police officer for 10 years, SWAT team leader.
Okay.
Audra was actually a dispatcher, and then she went to the road with the sheriff's department. She was a sheriff's deputy. So she was on the road as in law enforcement as well for
3 years.
About 3 years.
So I was in that service area for 8.
So. Right. So being in that realm of work, you see a lot of bad stuff. You know, you're dealing with people at their worst moments, you know, in their time of need. So, and especially working third shift. I worked third shift for like 7 years.
I worked third shift my entire time.
I love the shift itself, but you know, I'm gonna give it to you straight. You know, you're not dealing with the working people on third shift. Unfortunately, you're dealing with, you know, the worst of the worst, the troublemakers, people that's trying to break into people's homes and cars, and you know, pretty much hurt, you know, working people.
Yeah, you're dealing with people who are hurting other people.
Right. So during the daytime hours. Yeah, that's the thing. During the daytime hours, your officers and deputies, they have their hands full, because when you get these calls or you respond to different situations, you kind of have to weigh your options and see whether you're dealing with the knuckleheads or actually whether or not you're helping the working people. There is a difference. But on third shift, it was literally like 95% of the time, it's just you're dealing with knuckleheads.
Yeah.
So it makes you really kind of what they call like a Debbie Downer. You know, you're always
negative.
You know, negative.
You're jaded because of what you see constantly. You see death, you see, you know, pain, you see heartache, you see all of these things, and then you become so jaded to that world, it causes you to be negative at home and bring that home with you. You can't help it.
And then also,
I mean, because you're dealing with it like so much
every day. And then even on another level, when you talk about
a lot of your time at work.
When you talk about swatting, you're always responding to high tense, high stressful situations, going in these homes, you know, forced entry and things like that. It's really, really stressful.
It is.
And it came to a point where literally Audra and I were passing each other or seeing each other in passing. She would work 12-hour shifts. I would work 10-hour shifts. It was the most stressful time of our relationship.
It was exhausting.
I can imagine.
Yeah, big time. We never got to vacation. We never got to really do anything.
And you're robbing Peter to pay Paul just to keep the light going.
Yeah, because it's not anywhere where you can actually legitimately make, you know, good money. It's a respectable job as long as you do it the right way. But I don't see how you could really take care of your family. You know, we're a big on family. You know, we're involved in all of our children's, you know, involvement, sports, activities, schools, parent-teacher conferences, everything. So it definitely detaches you from civilization.
You walk around like
a zombie.
I can't even. Yeah, you're just your mental and emotional is just so full all the time. Like you're just so that being said, we knew something had to change, but we just didn't really know what. He ended up, because we didn't have a lot of time, the kids kind of, you know, they needed something here to teach them responsibility, to kind of help them like learn how to take care of something other than just themselves. And so he went and got 4 baby geckos from Petco. And when he brought them home, I was like, what is that in that box? And he's like, we're going to get you over your fear of snakes. I said, sir.
She's like, that better not be a snake.
If that is a snake in that box, you and the snake are going to be the funky smell in the attic. Like, yeah, this isn't going to work. And he's like, just hush. And so I opened up the box, and there's these 4 little bitty baby lizards, and they're looking up at me like, oh, God, is she going to eat me or something? Like, so I just kind of fell in love from there. And
were they crested geckos?
With crested geckos.
Yeah, crested geckos.
And, you know, I research everything to death, even to the point we are now. Like
to the point it's annoying.
Hours and hours of video. everything, search the web. So everything that they told me at the pet store was absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it was.
Down to the husbandry, keeping, feeding, everything was wrong. And at that time, we had a lot of hiccups along the way because, I found these great groups on Facebook, the Facebook groups, and I was able to kind of navigate through a lot of the BS with some of it, as far as arguments and stuff and riffs with people. And I was able to get some of the facts and information that we needed to know and learn.
We met some really awesome people.
Yes, and we met a lot of good people. So for us, it's kind of easy to kind of weed through it because of coming from a background in law enforcement. We know how stressful that is, and we don't want to make this equally as stressful.
This needs to be peaceful. This is our peace. Yeah. And it truly is. It's been our peace.
So at that point, we started purchasing online and figuring out the whole shipping process. And that was pre-COVID, well before COVID, actually, at that particular time. And we started getting some interesting animals as far as crested geckos.
This is what, 2017, 2016-ish?
This will be around that time. Yeah. So we actually had a collection of almost probably 100 geckos
before we ever
came up with the flawless branding, business name or anything. But we also had several other businesses at the time as well. Audra did hair for now 10 plus years. She's a hairstylist and a personal trainer along with bodybuilding. So branding, marketing, advertisement, all of that kind of comes second nature. You just kind of want to keep leveling up.
We know business.
Right.
So
only thing changes is your product. So we're really, really big on branding and the business concept. So we ended up taking that and branded the business, Flawless Crested Geckos. We LLC'd it. And kind of just kept pushing on and kind of pushing the envelope on the genetics and getting into more rare things at that particular time.
Pretty much. Like,
so talk about how you came up with the name Flawless, because I noticed so you got Flawless Crested Geckos and you got Flawless Exotic Creations. So that common denominator is flawless. So tell us about that.
So
I love diamonds.
Yeah, sure. And we know with names you want something that's going to be professional.
Yeah.
Something that can be creative, professional, and clean to the point where you can utilize it around children, older folks as well, and that you can talk about in a business climate as well as amongst your friends.
Yes.
So you want something that's going to be widely accepted. If that's the area that you want to go.
Yeah. Well, and we also wanted something that was not real, like, I guess, kitschy or we also wanted something that was professional, obviously, but something that could be an umbrella. So even if we decided to diversify in the future, which that wasn't the thought process to begin with, but thankfully we did do that because eventually we want to diversify into other realms of business, period. Like not just reptiles, but all kinds of other things.
Which is where Flawless comes in. So everything will fall under the Flawless umbrella.
One day we were like,
exotic creations, real estate,
Flawless Enterprises.
Like Monsters Inc. We're just taking
it. Gotta take it in stages.
So was Flawless like the first name y'all came up with, or did it kind of go through
we have
an evolution process? Y'all had some other thoughts.
There was a process. I want to say it was the only
hit us, like,
one that we rolled with because of the process we go through. We actually preach about it on our YouTube as well.
Yeah.
It's very easy for me. I know she'll probably say it's difficult at times to deal with me, but it's easy for me in the concept because I can separate
it's so difficult.
Marriage, relationship from business partners. You know, she's my business partner, so she needs to be my checks and balances. I'm her business partner, so I need to be her checks and balance. So on the business concept,
he feel like he always checks his own balances, and I'm like, sir.
So this is the concept of
you don't know everything.
Right. So, but this is the issue. So I'm very logical and she's very creative. So if she comes up with a concept, a lot of the time, she'll throw it out there. And if it sticks, it sticks. And, you go that. That's not how, the business concept works. If I come up with a concept, before I even throw it to her, I ask myself, how can this not work? and then I question myself on how it can't work. What's a way? What's an obstacle that's going to be in front? Is there a way through or over the obstacle, or is it impossible at this stage? I ask myself that before I even bring it to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So 75% of the doubt work is already done as far as questioning the validity of that concept. She doesn't do any doubt work. She just comes up with a concept and throw it out there. So we just got to kind of attack it while it's on the table.
Yeah. Or else I forget it.
Right.
See, I'm like ADHD. Like I literally take medicine for it.
Right.
And so it's like, it's very hard for me to kind of focus in on that. Like if I have an idea, I need to throw it out there. We need to attack it right then. And then, you know, we work from there, which is good because he's so grounded.
She say good now.
Yeah, it pisses me off in the moment. But
I was about to say it's not good in the heat of the moment, is it?
Yeah, but you know
why? Yeah, because I'm so emotional. I'm a woman, so you know, I'm like,
if I throw something out there and we roll with it, we question it, you know, we can't figure out a way that it doesn't work, so we execute. But if she throws something out there and say she never even questioned it herself, but then we figure out a way that it doesn't work for us or it's not the right timing for us, so we don't go with it. And then it's like, oh, I can't get anything right. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you got to remove the relationship part of the business. That's not going to work.
It's like, dang it, Bobby. Like, I can't.
Dang it, Bobby. Seriously, that's how it is. That's how it is.
But it's fun though, because, you know, it's developed me as a person. Mm-hmm. I think it's developed him in the communication realm because he was always like, it's me against me. It's me against the world. And now he understands, like, you know, he's able to kind of have that vulnerability that makes us that makes us that unique team, that to be able to kind of go back and forth with each other. Absolutely. And it work on all fronts. So it's been,
it's good. It offers some balance, I would imagine, like with one of y'all being on one side of the spectrum and the other one is on the other side of the spectrum, and then just kind of meeting in the middle offers like some balance. So that's good.
Oh, it's definitely, it's one of them situations where, you know, especially earlier stages, I wouldn't say so much now, but opposites attract. I'm more of the execution. It is what it is. This is where we at. Let's get through it. Mm-hmm. And she's more of the apprehensive one, or has been more of the apprehensive one in the past. Now she's like, all right, cool, we rolling. It's always been we rolling. So she's riding now. But yeah.
Well, I think it all boils down to, like, I truly trust and believe in him. I believe in what he stands for and where he's going in life. And and so it's just it gives me the ability to let go and let him be the leader, you know. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I know for me, like sometimes I get caught up in the paralysis of analysis, like thinking about things I want to do, and I'm like you, like I want to research it, I want to think through it, I kind of want to think about like different avenues it can go down, like where can this go wrong, what can I do to make stuff better. And so sometimes I get so caught up in that it delays like execution. Perfect examples like this show. I was planning to do this show for like probably almost close to a year, but I was just thinking through it, and I was talking myself out of it. I was like, man, you're new to the game. You don't know a whole bunch. So maybe you need to wait a few years before you learn, until you learn more. Like I was just like doing all these things to like talk myself out of it. Mm-hmm. And Gershon, he stayed on me. It's like, bro, you need to go ahead and do what you're gonna do. Go on and get on YouTube. Go and put yourself out there and just do it. Yes. And I just kept like procrastinating. And I finally just got out there and did it. So I'm happy I did. And like I'm learning stuff on the way. You can change stuff, you can fix stuff, and people like to see like that journey of growth, right? And so I just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We all growing, we all getting better.
They like to see, I mean, when you make mistakes and you learn from said mistakes, like you really can help others, you know, not make those same mistakes. So if you show the part that it takes to get to flawless, I mean, for lack of better words, then, you know, the not so flawless parts are actually building blocks to get to that point.
Plus, I think we're not, you know, any of us, we're not really truly in the adolescent stage. I think there's probably something that's, you know, not very many people have touched on, but there's at least two separate groups that are going to be sitting there watching you. like you said, they're going to be the group that's like Gershon. He's awesome. We speak to him as well. We go on lives with him as well. And they're the ones that encourage you, support you to get out there and do your thing. And they're going to sit in there watching you the entire way. But then there's also another group that will sit there and watch you. We've seen this happening in the hobby as well. They'll watch you the entire way, but they're more so waiting for the train wreck to occur.
Yeah.
They're there for the action. They're there for the negative. They're there for the drama, which is, it's a slow road to build a community and a following based around positivity, which is what we're trying to do.
That's a fact, because everybody likes scandal.
Everyone likes scandal. Everyone likes drama, negativity. You can get a ton of views if you label something
off drama. 100%.
And it's 100%. It's not the route.
We just refuse to be that way.
Yeah.
We refuse to modify those standards that we've set for ourselves and for our children, because we want them to be able to look back on all these lives, all these things that are out there on the internet about us. And we want them to be able to look back on that and say, I want to be like them.
That's what's up.
So
it's sad that the world is like that. Like, people just thrive off drama. Like, if they know some drama, like, folks just flock to it. Like, it's entertainment for them, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I don't want to be dealing with no drama. Like, I'd rather just kind of like sit it out. Why?
Sit out. Put me on the sideline. So
I got too many things to do. Like, I'm busy enough to be worried about stuff like that.
What we telling? We were at the same time as well. So we took a lot of that motivation and follow through from Flawless Crested Geckos. And 13 months ago, we have a tightly knit group of people, especially with Bob Vu.
Yeah, he's
we
fun.
hang out with him.
Yeah, Bob, cool.
He's so
Bob
funny.
Is real cool.
God, he's so funny.
Been out to his house a few times. He is hilarious. But there's quite a few people that we network with. Actually, Sloan Morse, which is Darren. He's helped us since day one. He's into the Crested Geckos as well. But he has an amazing collection. So it's kind of like you say, one hand, one person helps another, because he has a collection that's so large and what I would consider high end, and he kind of don't put himself out there, so now we bring him on lives, we do lives together, and he's getting a little bit more to kind of get out there and go. So we got a lot of stuff planned. Because we all, it's enough room in this niche hobby for everyone to do well.
I mean, we feel like, I think the population of the earth actually topped 8 billion. That's what I saw. So I mean, if you think about it, think about how many reptile machines are out there right now, reptile businesses, if you want to call it that, and think about the very small niche that we have and how we can expand into those areas. So,
because it's already a huge industry, like, relatively speaking, in terms of just the cash flow that it generates and all these other different kind of factors. But it's still like only a small amount of the population is into reptiles. And like you say, imagine if like more and more people got into reptiles, right? And so that's huge growth potential when you're looking at it from like a business analysis standpoint and thinking about like, how can you scale this up and where is the industry going over the long term? What are your thoughts on that?
I think as far as scaling up, you're always going to have a ceiling, and you always should have a direction on where you want to go. And it has to be tangible. It has to be something realistic.
You can't be like me all the time with my head in the clouds thinking we're gonna land on the sun, man. We're gonna land on the sun.
I think actually I watched one of your lives with Sick With It.
Okay.
And it's like a joke you had in that, where you was like, hey man, our number one gene we running with over here at Herp Collectors is pastel. And it's like, it's funny though, because no one, even though when that gene came out, it was huge, when it first was discovered. But, no one truly wants that gene unless you're going to pair it with something that looks good, like DG, or something like that. For the most part, everyone's eradicating that out of their collection, for the most part. But you got to think about that with your business planning. You can't, I can't go into it and say, hey, I love the way pastel looks, and I'm just going to work that. You can't just work that if you want to make it a business. If it's going to be
Right.
your hobby, you can work anything. You can have 100 female breeder spiders. You get spinning all the way around every time you feed them, you know, you get, all day. That's what you love.
They're gonna be attached to the ceiling fan.
But you can't expect to make it a legitimate, profitable, focused business if not even necessarily the mainstream, but you don't have a lane to work that project.
Mm-hmm.
You may have one or two combos that really look good, and I'm sure people will buy into it. But as far as a business concept around it, you're gonna avoid it like the plague for the most part. So that comes in, like you said, your business analysis, your business plan, and then execution. So that's what we based everything around, getting into it.
Yeah.
Because we'll put it on the table. We haven't made a dime off of the snakes yet.
Nope.
We do very well with the crested geckos, but we haven't made a dime off the snakes, and we're touching almost 300K.
Oh my gosh! Don't even say that.
Into the ball pythons in 13 months. So
yeah, that's a sizable investment though, but it's the long game, right? If you invest in the right things.
Even in and that's what I say, invest in the right things. Even in the down market, we're not worried at all. We're gonna snap right back, and it is what it is. You know, our projects, we're working a lot of double visuals, triple visuals, and now we're working on some quads. We just can't wait. We're excited.
I'm really excited. I told him, I was like, down there in the vault. We call it our vault, you know, it's our diamond vault.
Yeah.
But I was down there in the vault. Yeah, and I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so we got this and this clutch in there. It was like, I guess at some point we need to discuss, okay, what are we putting up? What are we doing? And he's like, well,
you gotta wait on eggs.
Probably should wait on them to pop out and see what we got, baby. Because I'm just like,
don't worry that way.
Yeah.
We got racks, we got empty racks and everything. We're ready to roll.
We're excited because it's
our first season so far. We got 2 clutches out the egg. We have 2 clutches in the incubator. We have 60 plus multiple locked females. So we're expecting, 50 plus clutches first season. So hopefully. It's gonna be very interesting. It's an understatement.
Yeah. So I remember hearing you say that, like, that y'all were expecting like 50 plus clutches this year. So what's the plan for that? Like, y'all gonna be doing shows?
So the plan is gonna be modeled exactly behind Flawless Crested Geckos. So it's no secret. We'll just put it out there because it's all about execution. We're gonna do shows. We're not huge on trying to do a show every weekend. We like to do the big shows like NARBC.
Makes sense.
We've been out to Vegas. We trying to do the whole map. Get out to Texas, California. We want to do the big shows. We have a following behind us that we've created, and we're thankful for that. But we want to get out there and meet them face to face.
Yeah.
We actually have a Patreon. We have like 50 people on our Patreon right now.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
It was maxed out for the longest, and people couldn't even get signed in. But the point of what we want to do
is upped
up the capacity.
Yeah, up the capacity.
We want to be able to
do different levels. We talk about that in a second.
We have one level.
We do one level. It's $50 a month. We do it a different way. So really, really quick, we do our Patreon where everyone who joins in, every dollar you put in, you get back in a Flawless Crested Gecko savings account. Mm-hmm. So whenever you want to utilize it, you can spend it on whatever gecko you want to purchase. And we also give you all other kinds of perks where we give away free geckos. We do free gift cards. We get free tools and things that we use, free merch, as well as free shipping year round. Yeah. Because we're huge on online sales.
So you said y'all was maxed out. Like, how was it maxed out?
Because we had it capped.
We had it capped at 50
at the time, and people kept asking. They wanted more. They wanted more as far as space because they would try to sign up, and we were already maxed out.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
You also get a preview 48 hours in advance to be able to view and purchase before it's available
any of our
on
site
website, because we still have our website.
Gotcha.
But we want to be able to go to these shows and literally take pictures, do video, meet and greet, shake hands, kiss babies, and show off our nicest stuff, and don't worry about selling anything. Yeah. It sounds counterproductive, but we don't want to do shows to sell.
We want to do shows to meet.
We want to do shows to meet and greet,
enjoy life a little bit.
Go there, hand out 100 T-shirts because we merchandise. We make our own merchandise: hoodies, T-shirts, keychains, air fresheners. But we do majority of our business during the week. We do a lot of shipping, Monday through Wednesday, really Tuesday and Wednesday. But that's where we're cornering the market for us. And when it comes to the snakes, everyone have their niche. What you're going to work is what you're going to work. We're never going to downplay any project. But for us, we want to hang in the, higher end stuff. And if we're stuck with it, we'll hang on to it for a good little bit. Working with first year double. We have two breeders actually. We have a DG pod male breeding. Nice. We have a couple pod het DG girls that are breeding. Ultra male pod double visual breeding.
That's one of the clutches we have.
Female. Yeah. We just got a couple G-stripe hypo girls that are breeders. So the way we ended up going into it, we bought into quite a few projects, tri-stripe, and bought into a lot of the visuals. And then we purchased a lot of babies to grow out over the next 2 to 3 years, however long it'll take for them to grow out. And then once we had all the babies with the very specific genes we were looking for, then we doubled back around and we set a budget on creating some interesting hets that we can produce income as well as stuff that we need, like visual plus a het on some of the females. And what we will make available will be the byproducts of that, things that we don't necessarily need to keep, but we can keep because we'll have rack space here at the facility. So that's how we structured that plan, more or less.
So how did y'all go about determining what projects y'all wanted to invest in? Do y'all kind of like consult with each other? Do y'all always agree on projects? Y'all disagree on some projects?
She actually just likes the colorful snakes. She's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Actually, it's funny because the DG pod, she's like, I don't really like it. I'm like, I love it.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I find Desert Ghost just seems to be washed out yellow to me. And like that's just what it looks like to me. I guess it's just my eyes. That's what I see. I like the
I'll be sure to edit that out.
I know, right?
That's just me. Like I just don't care for it. But now I love the Orange Dream.
We got a Aussie boy.
Yeah, so our Aussie boy. Actually, move your head.
Yeah,
that one.
So that
nice. Like I feel like I saw that one on Morph Market. That's nice.
Yeah.
And we love it. That's gonna be following up our ultra male pod male that we're creating a bunch of pod het, ultra male females. Gonna be ended up going to that male, which is Orange Dream, Super Inchy, Leopard, Hypo, Pod, 66% het ultra male. And then we also have a whole area in the facility where we have a bunch of sheds and things that we need to send in for testing. We've got like $1,000 in sheds.
Oh my gosh. It's the whole okay. So we have 6 quart racks for our crested geckos for our grow outs and stuff. And literally like 3 of the whole racks, they fit like 3 6-quart tubs all the way across, and 3 of them. So 9 tub spaces are full of snake sheds. Like just waiting. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we got a bunch of that ready to come out.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your strategy with testing the sheds? Like, are you testing animals you might sell, or are you only testing holdbacks? Or are you doing like a little bit of both?
No, for the most part, we're probably going to be testing all of it, and just absorb whatever the cost is at that point.
Right off.
The way I see it is, it's easier to absorb $65 or $75 in fees and know exactly, hey, this is not what this is, and go that route and don't even play around with it.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
See, Darren says it too. See, all the colors are really washed out. See, the Xanthic DG Clown.
Yeah.
I'm just not a like. It just doesn't do. It just doesn't do it for me. Like that one right there. Yeah, that one does it for me. I also have I have an affinity to the black pastel albino. I like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because what is it, GHI, the
GHI.
GHI Mojave,
Mhm.
like whatever GHI and Mojave does together, like that's just
Right.
that's beautiful to me.
Very
I
basic.
love
It is.
those.
It is.
Really, really nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very, very, very picky on what I like and what I don't like. I'm very clear about what I like and I don't like too. If I don't like it, you're gonna know it. And I'm like, yeah, that's ugly. I don't care for it. It's just like the monsoon to me is really cool, like as far as the patterning is concerned. But I'm
Mhm.
ready for somebody somewhere to make
create
it
something
really
cooler.
pop with some color. Like,
So hopefully we will.
yeah. So I'm like, babe, you need to figure that out because I'm waiting on it. Like that's what I
Hopefully
want.
soon.
Because we have, our visual monsoon mail.
Yeah, we
So
have.
what are y'all working the monsoon project with? And shout out to everybody in the chat too, all the new folks coming through in the chat. Appreciate you.
Our main breeder male at the moment, we have a special spider monsoon breeder male, and we were lucky enough last season to purchase a gravid 100% het female that was produced by Dave Green, and we have actually 2 babies from that clutch, both around, I think it's like 400 grams. One's a male, it's a normal double pos het pie monsoon.
And then
And then the girl is a banana.
She's a banana.
Same thing.
She's beautiful.
And so she's gonna stay.
Okay.
Gonna keep growing her out and test her when testing becomes available, or breed her and figure it out. Yeah, just like Darren said, a GHI Mojave monsoon, or probably gonna hit the banana monsoon. I'm hoping first for us.
Okay.
We'll see.
But then we also working probably after we get some clutches on the ground, stranger into it as well.
I like
Nice.
our Toffee girl. Toffee is one of those that I'm really excited about.
Yeah. So the genes we're working with mostly is monsoon, clown, heavy in the pot, heavy in the clown, tri-stripe. We have albino, but we're not going to work the albino side of it. We're going to kind of keep it there, hovering kind of as a byproduct, where if someone else needs something off of that, they'll have that het albino side of it, but we're not going to purposely put the albino on it, just a tri-stripe. We have a few tri-stripe girls, some het tri-stripe girls with some codon puzzle, working puzzle pretty deep. And like I said, working a lot of that GHI, Mojave, and stranger into it.
Yeah. There was, we actually just dropped a video on the cantaloupe.
Yeah.
That cantaloupe gene is really interesting.
Yeah, that we saw it too.
Yeah, that one's really cool. I could go with that too.
Yeah, I haven't. Like I've heard of the cantaloupe, and I feel like I might have saw a video about it, but I just can't picture it in my head. So talk about the cantaloupe gene and what it does and where you're trying to go with it.
So we don't have it. We actually saw it in person from Anton at DPR at Tinley. So we did a little episode on it on our channel as well. And at first, before seeing it in person, I thought it was just something similar to like Orange Dream. To me, it seems brighter than Orange Dream, especially he didn't even have a super for it yet. So I actually thought it was a super at the time, but it wasn't. And it's very interesting to see how like the flaming comes up the sides,
the way it wraps around,
and it literally like cuts off like halfway up the sides and like just stops. So it's kind of, pattern wise on that. That's interesting to see how far you can kind of go with that if you work that gene. So it's something that kind of catches our eye with that. But there's so many more. I was actually on a live with Bomb Projects, and he's working that gene that he imported. And
the dark.
It's like almost like an IMG boa type gene. I think it's called LC something.
Yeah,
but it's really cool gene on how dark that gene is. And he has a super over there that he's working with. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is out there where you can make an unlimited list of combinations. So just very anxious to kind of keep pushing the envelope and take it to the next level.
And it's fun because, obviously we have a ton now. We legitimately 140 or something like that now.
I did a count. It was like 113 exactly, or
113 ball pythons.
Yeah, with the babies and everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe we didn't have as many as I thought we did. But anyway, okay.
How many geckos?
Oh God.
We have over 2,500 geckos.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, but we probably have enough, even with the snakes, we probably have enough space in the facility to double that, honestly. But we'll never get that high. With the programs that we're working in the crested geckos, and how we're fine tuning things and improving the genetics every single year, we'll probably tap out right around probably a few hundred more than where we are now.
Yeah, and we're about there. I mean, it's a cycle for us,
right?
Because we cycle our babies. We don't let them go until they're pretty much,
Darren's laughing.
They're adults. So it's he knows.
He knows.
That's his bromance, I guess. But anyway, our cycle is, we hatch out our hatchlings and then we don't even look at them again, other than to feed and monitor their health or whatnot. Right. But as far as actually gauging whether we're going to let them go or not, we don't even look at them again until they reach either their drop-in for their cresticles or they're confirmed females, and that's when we'll actually gauge whether we're going to keep them for our program, to further our program, or let them go for sale.
Did you say cresticles?
Cresticles, yeah.
Is that the official term?
No,
yeah. Well, I was being nice.
She's improvising.
Yeah.
Did I hear what I think I heard?
I'm the one that would say, well, when their balls drop, I'd be that one. So I was trying to be like a little bit more filtery,
That's the official term from here out. What about crested gecko?
Yeah. So that being said, because of our cycle the way it is, that's why we have so many at one time, because we have to keep them until we decide what we're keeping for furthering our projects.
Right. And it's been so important for us because when we first got started, we didn't originally do it that way. We were traditional. We were kind of sticking to the traditional way of how a majority of people do it. You hatch out some babies, you hold back, one or two of your choosing, and then the rest of them out of that clutch or that breeding, you would make available, and then you'll sell them, whether they're 5 grams, 10 grams, and move forward. Well, we started that way and quickly learned that we're not going to do that. We open ourselves up to the community, where we tell people that even purchase from other breeders, from anywhere, and if you need assistance, message us and we'll help you. And people do that a lot. So what happened was someone inboxed us and said, hey, what did you think of this gecko? And the gecko was freaking amazing. We're like, man, that's awesome. Where'd you get it from? And they're like, oh, we got it from you. And I'm like, oh yeah, we ain't doing this no more. We're gonna go out, make sure we got exactly what we're needing. We know exactly what we're putting out there. Because you'll have, seller's regret. So
it's immediate remorse,
absolutely
immediate seller's remorse.
They transform and that, unlike the snakes, I think transform greatly, not just a color fade or anything, but they literally transform with every shed.
It can literally look like nothing on it, a plain just plain Jane, no super pattern gecko, and then when they're adults, the progression is just completely different. It just looks like a completely different gecko. So it's very interesting. That is part of the process, I think, that we like the most about the geckos. The snakes, I realized really quick that's not how the snakes work. So that was kind of
progress, but they just progress in a different way. And our look on it, as far as hobby versus hobby, industry versus industry, the gecko market is so much more smaller than the ball python market. So it's a much different approach, I guess, that we're going to attempt to follow through with. Because like I said, we're not expecting to take 100 snakes to a show and necessarily need to move snakes out. We just want to take our time and
look. Apparently, I'm the unpopular opinion.
You are.
They rioted in the comments.
Look,
I love desert ghosts.
He does, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. It does. It's washed out. I'm like, it's kind of dry, babe.
So admittedly, I don't really know much at all about like the crested gecko game and like the morphs and stuff in there. So does it work like similar to ball pythons? Like, is it like morphs that people are like combining and working like
Yes.
that, or is it more like
Yeah.
polygenic stuff? Like, how's it going? How's it work?
It is there. They actually rolled out with a groundbreaking genetics list. This kind of gives you a guideline of the genetics with crested geckos. The thing about it is, in our opinion, it's always been that way as far as comparatively to the ball python. Gene for gene, it's the same things. It's just one of those situations where you have to figure it out. And the hobby as a whole has spent so many years just kind of just putting male and female together and not really even interested.
Kind of like a roulette of sorts, you know.
Much different, and because 20 plus years ago there was only 200 crested geckos that were imported into the States before they cut off the import list from New Caledonia. Well, those that were collected from the wild, you're literally talking about like a mosh pit of genes in these crested geckos. So, you know, if you can find geckos from way back then, I mean, those geckos will be priceless, but they're no longer around. And you start breeding like geckos to like geckos, and you start figuring out certain things are genetic, and you move forward with those projects. And here it is 20 plus years later, they're still discovering new genes in crested geckos now. Yeah. So to know that we've come that far just in crested geckos, I mean.
Well, the thought process is like legitimately, you know, when you're just sticking stuff together, you obviously muddy the gene pool, for lack of better words. I mean, and so it's just going to take us a little bit longer as far as the crested gecko community to get to where the python community is, because genetics works, you know, somewhat similar in all facets, in some way, shape, or form. So like as far as those crested gecko genetics, we just have to take time to isolate each gene and find out how they interact with it.
And then make it even more visual. It's like, to put it for the ball python viewer, it's the same as having like a quad het, you know, 4 different, you know, hets of recessive and breeding it to another quad het of 4 other recessives. Now it's either going to be recessive or not when it comes to het. There's a probability of what's going to get passed through to the offspring, but imagine you're breeding this non-visuals, and you're 3 and 4 generations in, you got genes all over the place that aren't showing in these crested geckos. So you don't truly know what you have until you start seeing certain little similarities, or you're popping out certain things out of breedings and you're keeping things back and you're growing them up. That's why now we're literally like 5 generations in on a lot of our projects.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And that sounds like a smart way to go about it, right?
Right.
So 2,500 crested geckos and 113 ball pythons. Any more reptiles?
No, we have 2 dogs. We have 2 exotic.
Pig, right? Yeah, I got a pig too.
Oh yeah, we have chihuahuas. Oh yeah, you spoke about the pig. You want this pig? Look, we're gonna buy this pig.
Look, that pig is the best, like most well behaved animal we have. I'm serious. He's potty trained. He's potty trained. He listens now versus before when he didn't. He was pretty stubborn. He's still pretty stubborn. And
what's his name?
Squeal a little bit.
Roscoe.
Roscoe. It's Roscoe. And you know, he's just a good pig. It's a good pig.
He squeals. That's the most annoying thing about it. He squeals very loudly.
But he's funny because he's gotten to where he knows he's not going to be hurt when you pick him up. So if it's going to something that he wants to go to, like his food dish, then he'll go like he's just kind of protesting a little bit. But if he's having to go outside, honey, it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure all my neighbors are like, what the heck is going on over there? They're like killing somebody because he's just like,
I'm sorry. Thanksgiving, he's going in the oven. So.
No, you hush. We're not eating Roscoe. He is not bacon. I'm sorry. He is not bacon. He's not going to have an apple in his mouth. Yeah, other than the ones he's eating. He eats a lot of apples.
Oh my goodness.
But he's cute. He's still little too.
Chihuahuas.
We have
Chihuahuas too, which
Chihuahuas.
is another New Caledonia.
Well, and we have two dogs. We have a bully puppies, one pocket and one micro, American bully. And then, I have two skinny pigs, which are hairless guinea pigs. If anybody wants those, I'm very allergic to them.
Yeah, she keeps them. She be sitting there tearing up and crying. I'm like,
yeah, that's like terrible. Like I got to a point where I couldn't breathe. I'm like, I might have to call an ambulance. Like this is bad. I can't breathe.
Wow.
So, but then I also have a feeder fail, Stuart the rat, and he's awesome too.
Yeah, she used to. We don't breed our rats, so every time I pick up rats, she's always in there trying to keep pet rats. What are you doing? So I'm like, oh my god,
I couldn't stand it. I can't even go in the box. I can't, because if I see one with like color on it, it sounds really bad. But if I see one like,
now I got a pet.
He's got black, and then he has white on his little body, and he was so cute, and he had these little ears, and I'm like, there's no way we can feed you all.
So that's the snake food.
No. So now he's this big, and he sits on my shoulder. But yeah, I have a soft heart.
What I have to deal with.
I have a soft heart. Like,
so with well over like 2,600 plus animals, talk about kind of like y'all flow like for cleaning and taking care of everything. Like, how does that work? You have a set schedule?
Yes. So feeding wise, as far as crested gecko work, we feed on Mondays and Thursdays. So we do our feeding and our tub swaps for cleaning. We also have our children that are employees, so they come and they scrub and wash
child
tubs.
labor.
We actually have a new employee
that's
from outside of the family actually working in the facility as well.
Oh, nice.
Scrubbing tubs, washing tubs, and it's really not that hard of a job. They're down there watching YouTube. We have an 86-inch TV down there that they sit there and they're glued to, doing half the work that they're supposed to be doing.
That's accurate.
So that's what we do. We do most of the grunt work ourselves as far as the feeding and swapping of tubs, and the kids do pretty much 90% of the cleaning, as far as scrubbing the clubs and make sure that we have clean tubs to use. We hired somebody, to kind of start doing that as well and helping us organize things in there and stuff, and we want to be able to teach him, kind of how, from the ground up, how our operation works. That's going to be hard though, I'll admit, because kind of, be hands off on something that you kind of built from the ground up is very difficult. That has not been put into the business plan, so we don't know how to structure that. Because, the other, terrifying thing about it is we've done all of this. We stepped away from the workforce, so this is all we do full time now. And I mean, even down to the building of the facility, we have a smart facility. We temperature control, climate control the humidity. We do all of that stuff, set all that stuff up ourselves. So to kind of step back and let someone else come in and kind of man the fort is going to be extremely difficult. I don't even know that it's possible.
Let's this is one of those things where I'm like, I have an idea and let's roll with it. And so I've been looking for somebody because, I feel like if we have somebody that we're legitimately paying and we're legitimately teaching how to do these things, then I feel like, we can trust that a little bit more than just randomly, leaving it.
I'm open to it, but I'm more logical. It is what it is. And I've come up working my entire life, and I understand the concept of, if you're not the owner of that business, that you do not care the same way as the person that
it's kind of like going into Home Depot and you're looking for something. And prime
example, yes. I sent to Home Depot
like nobody's working.
Screws, 2-inch screws at Home Depot. I said, baby, go get some 2-inch screws from Home Depot. She calls me from Home Depot, says she spoke to the sales rep. They don't have any 2-inch screws at Home Depot. I said, they lying to you, baby. I said, I promise you, they got hundreds of thousands of 2-inch screws at Home Depot and different brands. They will be closed. Okay,
so you're looking for specific 2-inch.
And then I told her I'll be right there because I was on the road, and I pulled up and literally walked up to her. Right next to her, got the 2-inch screws, and she was mad, and we turned around and left. Yeah, so it's the same concept. Finding someone that's dependable. And reliable, and being able to kind of let go the reins a little bit.
The point was that, you know, you work harder for yourself than you would anybody else. And you know, if you're in a Home Depot and you're asking this question, hey, can you help me find this? 9 times out of 10, they're like stocking their crap. They've got their stuff that they're doing, but it doesn't matter to them if they sell that 2-inch screw or not, you know. But if the actual owner of Home Depot came in there, I'm sure that he would want to sell that 2-inch screw because, you know, his thousands of 2-inch screws and all of his stuff that he's got in there, that's what makes him.
It's the same concept with the manager. You go to any of these department stores or any businesses, and you hear of anyone coming and visit that location from corporate or upper management. Everyone wants to whip things, and it's in every field. It just kind of is what it is.
It's a situation of, and I know this sounds like it's making me really old right now when I say this.
Are old,
baby, you're older than me. You remember that?
Yeah, I was about to say what I was about to say, actually, I was gonna say it makes me sound old because I don't know if it's me getting old or if it's really true, but like I feel like a lot of these young kids, they don't work as hard as we did.
No, that's accurate. That's very true.
It's the work ethic is just not what it was. Yeah. It's not there.
And that's like when we built the facility, you know, she wanted to cut a corner and get a drywall lift. I said, well, I have a drywall lift.
Let me tell you something right now. I can tell you this. I can be 100% truthful when I say the next time we build a facility, your girl is not lifting no daggum sheetrock. I can tell you that right now.
She did very well, though. She got really, really strong.
You think? He had me holding a whole ass piece, the whole piece of sheetrock. Like I'm up here, like holding it like this, and shaking. The whole daggum ladder shaking, and he's like, just a little bit longer. I'm like, if you don't screw that screw in, like now, I'm about to fall off this ladder. Like, and what's bad is, so we're hanging on the sheetrock. But it came in like in 2 pieces, and they sit it on the driveway, which is still like 100 feet from the vault from our backyard. And so we had to carry all these joints down to the facility. 2 pieces at a time.
It was like what, 70
sets.
Yeah, 70.
Oh wow.
And then he has the audacity to ask me, can you carry 2 at a time?
Yeah.
No, I can barely carry 1. What are you talking about?
Talking about this generation, you know, you gotta,
this generation.
But
he gets pinched more than anyone, man.
It's been a very good journey. You know, we're thankful.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Like, but what's so bad about that sheetrock stuff? I have a friend that has a lift. Okay.
Yeah.
And they told me, come get the lift. So I tell him, hey, Jim has a lift. We can use the lift. He's like, whatever, baby. No. We'll do it ourselves. Are you sure? Because I've never done this before. Are you sure?
And we got it done. It was awesome.
I'm still sore and sour about it.
Yeah,
like
you can tell.
I'm salty. Yes, the audacity. Yes. See, asking me these things, getting me to do these things. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he talks me into this stuff.
Oh man.
So yeah, I was talking about Bob earlier. Has Bob kind of served like in a mentor capacity for you? And has anyone else?
Yeah.
The funny story is our very first show. We was talking about shows earlier. Our very first show was about, I want to say maybe a year and a half ago. We were literally 100%
That's correct.
all online. We did a lot of marketing on social media, ran things through our website because we've actually had quite a few obstacles. I remember when we first branded a business and decided to go at it pretty hard. We were both still working, and that was during the time you may remember where you were able to sell reptiles on Facebook. And they literally, as soon as we branded the business and decided to start moving forward, they cut it out immediately.
Mhm.
They shut all Facebook, sales down. There were no more auctions or anything. So we had to figure out how to circumvent that issue because we didn't really have another source on what we were going to do. And at that time, we were over 100 geckos in. And we're like, well, what are we going to do now? So that's when we started doing the whole promotions and marketing and advertisement. As far as we even utilize Morph Market. We have a Morph Market page. We love Morph Market. We're going to do the same thing as far as with the snakes. But Morph Market, even if people aren't buying from you, they are able to at least come across your page of you having something available, so they can even know that you exist.
Yeah.
So you can utilize Morph Market in a big, big way where if someone's looking for a snake, they may not know Flawless Exotic Creations, but they go and they type in a certain snake that they're looking for, whether it's a certain snake or whether it's just a female or a male or older or smaller, and come across your listing. And now they can familiarize themselves with your brand. So marketing by itself through Morph Market it's a lifesaver, honestly. You can't really compare it to anything else. But we do stand behind wanting to keep our own standalone websites as well. We do see a lot of people kind of abandoning ship on websites. And in my opinion, for the cost of what it is, especially with Wix and all this other stuff that they have out there, we're probably always going to have our website, even with Morph Market, because
well, it's important because whereas with your own space, it's kind of like you're as if you can own the internet or own any part of your internet.
But that's what you may have the most control over.
That's if control is an illusion. You can't control anything, truthfully. But if anything is controllable in the internet space, it is your own website. So like where Patreon or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram can literally shut it all down and kick you off.
We've had it happen to a couple people along with ourselves get our Instagram page back. Yeah,
your website's not necessarily just going to be jerked down.
And you also don't want to, and I know John and Morph Market is awesome. I want to prefix this whole thing with that. We love Morph Market. But that being said, everyone knows that's kind of the end thing right now. Anyone looking for a snake or a reptile, you're going to go there. Who's to say someone buys them out and that person decides to take Morph Market in a different direction, or anything. Right. You're
dependent on somebody else.
On that. So it's just like we want to make sure that we can keep everything, multiple channels open and available for contact by potential customers or just inquiries, period, as well as YouTube, same thing.
But we're going to utilize every aspect of everything that we can.
But to get back to your question, yes, Bob, we did our very first show, set up one table right next to Bob. Learned a lot about Bob at that show, that he was, full-time, snake breeder. I thought that was kind of crazy. And we talked, we exchanged numbers, and we've stayed in contact since then. We actually work in the voodoo gene here as well, which is his gene. We actually spent Thanksgiving with him this past Thanksgiving. We've been to the new facility when it was being built, and now that it's finished.
We gotta go back.
We're pretty tight with Bob. He's definitely gave a lot of insight on certain projects and direction.
Yeah, he and his wife are just such good people. Like they just are very open and caring, and they're just I don't know, they're just enjoyable to be around. So Bob has been very he's also a great businessman. So he's been very influential, not only with the snake aspect of it, the actual animals, the actual reptiles, and kind of help him with that, but also with his business models and things that he does, which is really cool. He's definitely somebody to look to for more information about it if you consider getting into it.
And I wasn't around at the time, but from all the stories I hear from Bob and from others as well, like coming into the game, he got a lot of undeserved hate. And he just stuck with it, persevered through it, and like now he like one of the top dogs in the game. So that said a lot about his character and just kind of like his work ethic and drive and stuff. So that's what's up. Yeah, a lot of respect for Bob.
Yeah, there's something to be said about perseverance. Perseverance, I think, is one of the most attractive qualities about someone in general. If you can hang in there and hang through the hard times, then that means that perseverance just outweighs, everything, and you can pretty much do anything you want to do at that point.
That's
So,
what's up. I heard a sound bite on a reel. It sounded like it was Deion Sanders, but I didn't actually hear the person who was talking. But it was just basically saying so. It was just basically speaking to perseverance and just to keep making plays, keep making plays. Like you might not be on the leaderboard, you might not be the person who everybody's talking about, but just keep making plays, and eventually you're gonna get to where you want to be. So I thought that was pretty dope.
yes.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I don't know. It's motivating for us. Like I say it all the time. I'm gonna say it again. He's probably like,
I already know
not
where she's
again.
going.
Like we say it all the time. When you hang out with, and I use this term lightly, so don't take offense to when I use this term, but if you hang around with 5 bums, chances are you're going to be the 6th. When you hang around with 5 millionaires, you're probably going to be the 6th. So it's like mindsets.
Right.
And whenever you see someone that has that same drive, that ambition, that positivity that's radiating even through the bad times, that perseverance, I mean, it can't help but raise you up too. So the
100%.
best thing that you can do for yourself is never hang around somebody that's doing a whole lot worse than you,
Right.
that's being negative in it, that's not trying to have a come up, that's not trying to do better for themselves. So Bob is one of those people, that he's constantly pushing himself to a higher standard, and we like being around people like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. If you hang around 5 bums, you're probably gonna be the 6th. You hang around 5 millionaires, you're probably gonna be the 6th.
That's true. It's true.
I say it constantly. I've said it from the jump, like
words to live by.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's very true.
Yeah, that's what's up. So any other mentors on the ball python side of things?
Ozzy.
Freaking Darren.
Ozzy. Darren more so than Ozzy,
Darren.
but that's crazy. So Darren is the owner of Sloan Morse. I always mess with him because he's like 4'11", but
he's not 4'11". Stop it.
But he's a wealth of knowledge. Literally, I call him. We shoot the crap all the time. We talk almost every day. If you count text messages, every single day.
Mm-hmm. You know how, in those memes where women are looking at their men who have their back to them, they're on their phone, and they're like, wonder what woman he's talking to. No, I just know it's Darren. Okay.
That's messed up. But yeah, he's helped
or
me.
Morph Market.
Or Morph Market. Yeah, because I'm definitely, as soon as I wake up in the morning, middle of the night, I'm on Morph Market all the time.
Morph Market is his side.
She's on Morph Market. But Darren is working with a lot of projects, and when I first met him,
look, gang, see.
He already know 5'2" gang.
Gang, 5'2".
But he was working with such a collection that it surprised me because he kept it so low key, and that's one other thing I think everyone should consider. We don't show a lot of stuff off because we're not really showboats, or we don't want to even seem like we show. That's why even when we do our videos, we only even started mentioning prices and things like that because people inquired. And so we try to prefix that like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We
try to be transparent.
Right.
On a lot of stuff because we feel like that transparency helps other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand for people like Darren, I've told him this specifically, that you see your collection every single day. Every single day you see your collection. So that man sitting there with something like 6 Freedom Breeder racks. I mean, close to like 150 snakes. I'm like, dude, why don't you do some videos? Take some pictures. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is mind blowing. He showed me, and then he built, he has his own facility in his home where he sectioned it off and put up walls and everything. So I'm like, dude,
nice.
He sent me a picture, and I'm like, man, this is like state of the art. Why don't you show this stuff off? So we're he's much closer now. So we trying to get him to put himself out there. So
he's doing good. He's doing really good.
Well, But that's what we said. So we're just talking about that. You know, you want to be able to help other people just like they're helping you.
Yeah, because if it weren't for Darren, like, we wouldn't be sitting where we are now. Yeah,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. So definitely Darren Sloan Morris.
Shout out to Darren. Shout out to Sloan's Morris.
Ozzy, a wealth of knowledge, even outside of ball pythons.
We're actually members of his Patreon, so
which is kind of getting you to look at the bigger picture, you know, which is why we're looking at international real estate and stuff like that as well. But again, for our golden years, even though she's getting closer now than I am, but
he's older than me. You're older than me.
Sit back and enjoy, you know. But that's and other than that, we watch everyone. I love what Gershon is doing. I love his personality, his character.
Adam.
Say that one more time.
Say Gershon has put so many people onto YouTube. Encourage people. He's persistent with it too.
He's that guy. So we definitely
lock on the YouTube Yoda.
He doesn't. I'm about to say he doesn't get, you know, as we say, his flowers. He definitely needs his flowers for what he's done for
100%
hobby, especially, you know, getting into this. We actually, I don't know if it's been the same way for you, but you know, Audra and I talk amongst ourselves. Darren, we spoke to him as well, and it's funny because being, you know, a Black man in this industry and not even knowing Darren until pretty much like relatively recently, these past years, like we didn't grow up together, but we have the same experience in a Black home as a youth. Like snakes is like it ain't so you ain't bring so what? It's amazing. It's amazing to be able to be to this point because you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna get my kids into this. I'm gonna educate them on it. I'm gonna show them the care, the need, show them how fun it is, because it wasn't possible when I was a child. So I don't know if it was the same way like that for you, but it was for him.
That's exactly how it was. I wish I would have fixed my mouth up to say bring a snake in the house.
So that's the craziest thing. It's like, so, you know, here it is, Mike, same concept.
I don't know. I guess that was the same concept for me growing up because we did not do no snakes. No, sir. And in fact, the bad experience I had was with a boa constrictor, and it was crazy, but my biological father was not a good guy, and he had a friend that had a big ass boa constrictor. And I was young. I was 6, 7 years old. And I still distinctly remember the fear that I had. They thought it would be funny to wrap the snake around the 6, 7-year-old's body. And knowing that I was freaking out. So that animal obviously feels my vibe. I'm freaking out. I'm trying to swat. I'm doing whatever. And that thing just started wrapping himself up. I mean, they had to pull the sucker off of me. So it's just, and then nobody. Cool, they just screwed me up from the jump. So I'm like, nobody ever took the time until he came along to actually say, okay, wait a minute, let's revisit this, because it's a fear that you have. And regardless of what fear it is, any fear that you have, you know, at all, you need to face it. You need to work through it. You need to figure it out, because fear will define you on all aspects. But snakes were not a thing. Like no, absolutely not. Like, no, I will tell you this. I would rather fight a grown man. You won't find me running from a person. Like, no, I will turn around and stand my ground. But if I'm running, you best be running too, because there's definitely a snake. I've seen one. I've seen one that's not been welcome. Like, so I don't run for anything, but I run for that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and happy birthday, Darren. I know.
Happy birthday.
I already wished him happy birthday.
Happy 50th. You know, happy 50th.
That's some real junk right there. You not even know. 50? Yeah, he's 50. He ain't 50. I don't think he's 50.
Happy birthday, Darren.
Yeah. So that was the best thing about it. And I think also watching the transformation in the hobby right before our eyes is kind of interesting too. People are having to reinvent themselves. Even you'll see it even at the shows. where before, where you walk in, you walk up to someone's table, they're the vendor, and they're just standing there with their arms crossed. They won't even say hello, like nothing.
Yeah.
And you're watching more and more of that kind of disappear, because you have to communicate with these customers, because the customers have so many different avenues of getting what they want now, that you're making it easier for them to not purchase from you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
See, he's not 50, fool. Look at you. You just doing that on purpose. He's always telling other people they old, and when it's him that's old.
How old are you, bro? Drop it in
40.
the chat.
He's 40.
I'm 40.
He is 40.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm 43.
Okay.
You are? God.
Yeah.
See, it is true.
Nothing is wrong with 51. Main squeeze. Nothing is wrong. Nothing.
Yeah.
So
I'm 43.
what's some of your main projects you're working with?
So in terms of like recessives, the ones that I work with, so Desert Ghost, Hypo, Clown, Ultra Male, and Pod. Those are like my 5 base recessives, and I'm doing like some doubles and triples and stuff with that.
Okay.
I like Ultra Male.
We're working both Desert Ghost Hypopod, that triple, as well as Ultra Male Hypopod. And then once we get that really rolling, we're years off from it, but we want to get the triple visual of both and then take them together. So
nice.
We'll have better odds on the end game, on the back end, working it instead of playing the whole quad and figuring that out. But I think we'll have good odds once we get there.
Ooh.
Add some codoms in it, like a Hurricane, which is one.
Oh, I like Hurricane. Yeah, I like Hurricane.
I like that. So I don't have any Hurricane. I do have a really nice trick. Trick head clown. But I love what Hurricane doing a lot of combos.
We have a trick.
Yeah, we have trick too. We have trick. We have Hurricane. And I'm probably gonna get crucified. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same G. But
so like I've seen people say, right? So I've seen people say that Hurricane they're the same thing. Then I've seen people say Hurricanes look better than tricks, but I've seen like some Hurricanes that look like a drizzle.
Right.
I've seen some that look amazing.
Our Hurricane came from Winter. What's the guy's name? The originator. It was imported in, so that's where our Hurricane from. But our trick is just as wicked, and I'm sure it's having some head influence. But we have a blackhead trick, double head clown pie. So yeah, we're gonna work that into our clown pie project as well.
Nice.
So we hit the odds on that.
Nice. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking. When will that be up to breeding size?
Not this year. It'll be next year.
Next year.
Yeah, next year that should be up to breeding size.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to see what y'all hit on that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that one. And then we have I want to say 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 snakes from collections that we purchased, where we're listing them, slowly here and there, where they are a part of projects that we have. So some of the collections that we purchased, they had things that are in our projects and focus points. And the discounts was just too great to kind of turn down the entire collection. So we just picked it up. And then we also have we partner with Carolina Rodents, which is where we get our rodents from. So we pick up live pretty much every week.
Okay. Okay. So for y'all rodents, is it just Norwegians or do y'all do like mice, ASFs?
So we do mice for hatchlings. At least we try to give them mice 3 consecutive feedings before we even start to introduce like a rat pup. And then from there on is pretty much everything 100% Norwegian rats from there.
Yeah, because ASFs in South Carolina.
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty positive ASFs are illegal in South Carolina. So.
Do y'all feed everything once a week, or do y'all have like different cadences for?
No, every Friday. Leave it at once a week, and then I've seen people actually jump into once every 2 weeks. And they're saying that they're getting better feeding responses, better better growth, which I think is a
Yeah, that's
little
what
weird.
Billy said. Like,
Yeah, yep, same
Yeah.
thing. So I'm like, that's kind of weird, but
Billy swears by it.
Maybe we'll
maybe
try
it's
that
true.
with old voodoo girl.
Yeah.
She
So
just
I do take 1 week off per month.
Uh-huh.
And like that week I come back, man, it'd be crazy. Like you better don't just open that tub. Like that'd be
Now,
crazy.
I will say we've kind of periodically skipped a week on purpose for that same reason, to clear your snakes out,
Yeah.
as well
Push
as
it all out.
push it all out, and then allow them to get that kind of that hunger, that
Exactly.
food, that food drive
yeah.
back. So we do that. We probably need to structure it because it's really random. We'll do like once every 8 weeks or something like that.
Gotcha.
But we probably need to do something like either once every 6 weeks or once a month. Probably
Yeah.
better.
I typically do it like the last because I feed on Tuesdays primarily. And so I typically skip like the last week of the month
Yeah, we
when I
feed
do it.
on Fridays because we give the snakes their own day, because we're doing the gecko work on Mondays.
Gotcha.
It really works itself out. We do gecko work on Mondays, Thursdays, and on those days we're down there like literally like 12 hours on Monday, 12 hours on Thursday, and then anything down there on a Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be down there for shipping, packaging up, shipping.
Okay.
Thankful we don't have to do any cleaning because the kids will be down there. We pay them to go down there and do the cleaning.
Yes.
And then Fridays is typically an open day unless we're going to a show or something. And we structured it that way because of shows. If we do a show, we want to make sure we have all our feedings done on that Thursday, which leaves us not having to be back in there working until Monday. So we can travel, do whatever we need to do, and then come back on Monday and be able to get down there and do, what we need to do. But we also have the kids there on the weekends, as well as the employee now on the weekends that can do our water swaps and everything like that on the weekends as well. So
Gotcha.
it really works itself out where, we're not down there, pretty much around the clock. But then again, we are doing it full time, so we don't have any other employment responsibility that we need to get to. So that kind of works out.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And so in terms of like the social media, like who's the primary driver by that? Are y'all splitting it up, or is like one
We
person
both
on one platform? How y'all do that?
Yeah, we both attack it. And that's actually pretty fun, because we think a lot alike in a lot of ways, but different. So she kind of takes an angle and kind of comes up with a concept and rolls with it, especially on reels. If you see something plain Jane on a reel, it was probably me. If you see something creative, all kinds of transitions.
Look, if it has a sound on it, like how reels you pick a sound or whatever, you pick a song or whatnot. If the song ends and the video continues without the sound, it's him.
Oh, there you go.
I can't stand that. If you got a sound that is 8 seconds long, that video needs to be 8 seconds long.
I ain't gonna lie, I done messed up too doing that or forgetting to turn the original volume down, and so like you can hear like the sound that I put plus the stuff in the background.
But it's honestly, we could probably use a whole nother person as well, as far as on that, because we attack it where we try to post literally like every day. And now with the reels, we're not monetized on Flawless Exotic Creations, but we're monetized on Flawless Crested Geckos, where we pay us every month, based off our views on our reels. So now you got a check coming from Meta on that, and direct deposit coming from this. So you want to make sure that you're at least crossing your T's and dotting your I's on that concept, because again, it's a business.
We're close to being able.
Yeah, we're close on
so close
on Flawless Exotic Creations as well. But we just broke 1,000 followers, and I think we got 75
on
more
Exotic Creations. Yeah,
to
we
break
need
that threshold.
75 more on YouTube to break the threshold for being allowed to be monetized for that.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
and even on YouTube, are you monetized yet on YouTube?
Not yet. So I got the public view hours, and I'm probably at like 837 or so subscribers, something like that. I think last time I looked at it, and so I'm close. So once we get to 1,000, then I can apply.
Okay, man. I think you probably get that in about a week, man.
That's right.
So if you ain't hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that subscribe
Yeah,
button.
everybody hit that
Shameless
subscribe
plug.
button. You know, you definitely got to post on that. That's something that we're kind of getting into now. Reason I said we needed even another person is because we're trying to do it all. And I'm thankful that we're doing it together.
Yeah.
But we got Flawless Crested Geckos on YouTube. That's doing very well. Then we got Flawless Exotic Creations. That's doing well too. The reason we wanted to do separate because we have people that are mainly interested in the snakes and then people that's mainly interested in the geckos.
Gotcha.
And then if they're interested in both, they can follow both.
So. Right. So it's a long road to do it that way, but I think it'll pay off. And we're getting a lot of views finally. But I think it's very smart to do the lives because the people that either watch it live or go back and watch the lives, it really pays off for the actual creator. And we're learning that now on Flawless Exotic Creation because we do our lives as well.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I see something there just before we get off of the monetization. Somebody says, needs someone to explain to me about the IG monetization. I got it and don't even know how it works. So like the bonus reels it's bonuses that you get, and you go into your ad tools and it'll say bonus, and then it'll show you what you're eligible to do, and like we have reels play, for instance. And anytime I make a reel, I scroll down at the very end where right before you post it, it'll say bonuses, and you just click on that, and then whatever is available to you, your bonuses in there you can pick. So I usually pick reels play, and then it monetizes from there.
How often does Meta pay out?
Every month.
Every month.
Every month? Okay.
Yeah. And it's pretty good for what you're already doing. You're marketing. They're basically paying you to use their platform to market your business. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm ready for them to do the snake channel.
Yeah. So that's the one we're waiting for monetization on.
Yeah.
For the exotic channel.
Because our Crested Gecko channel, I think we're like right over 7,000 followers on that. So it took a while to get it monetized. That you had to get, like, I don't even know what the level of followers is that you have to get to, but I know it wasn't 1,000, that's for sure. So
plus they kind of, I guess they put marks against you as well. Like if you buy followers or anything like that. So we've had to do it like all organically.
Yeah.
So, and plus it's better that way because you're dealing with people that's primarily just looking for content like yours.
Stuff.
So it really pays you back to do it that way.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I saw some information or something, like they might have sent an alert or something about you can look into getting monetized for IG, but I hadn't looked into it too tough.
Yeah,
it'll pop up on, like, you're just scrolling Instagram.
Like, boom, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't looked into it too tough. The only one I've been primarily focused on right now is YouTube.
You should,
I check that on a regular basis, and like
you're
so close.
You're close.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize I was close until one day I just kind of like happened to check it. I was like, okay. Like as far as watch hours and stuff like that, because I wasn't like monitoring it, but then like I was like, wow, okay. And then so like I started seeing like
it's gonna be long for us because I think we're like we have half the watch hours, and probably
you'll be there before you know it.
Almost half the followers as well.
You'll be there before you know it, because that's about when I picked up on it, was when I had about half the watch hours. Like, because I didn't even realize it was that far up because I wasn't monitoring it as closely. And then having these lives helps because after the live, people been in the chat, they've been talking in the chat, watching the video, and so like that's a lot of watch hours adding up. And then folks watching the replay, that's a lot of watch hours adding up.
That's the aspect definitely that we're gonna attack on it, because I think people are going down the rabbit hole when they go to our channel. They're like, mega unboxing, another unboxing. We got all these unboxings. So they kind of just binge watching, which is kind of cool too. You get a lot of engagement. So we get the regulars that come through, and we get to communicate back and forth with them, and then they'll inbox you, looking for a specific answer. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll say do a giveaway. You get hella subs. Yeah, I need to do a giveaway.
Yeah, you do.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah, we live in
giveaway land.
Yeah, we live in giveaway land. We do a lot of giveaways.
Lots.
That's actually how we pushed off on our Patreon as well.
Yeah.
We do a giveaway probably actually it's coming up time now for us to do another announcement for a giveaway where we'll give away a very high-end animal, crested gecko. And you kind of limit the people that are kind of gunning for it. In prior years, when we were just doing it, we did it 1 year on Instagram, but like you said, you're one of 7,000 people. The very first and third year, we did it on Facebook, and we have a lot of followers on Facebook.
We have like
back when
23,000 followers.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But now Facebook is dead.
But now it's dead.
It's like if you get 150 likes on something, like it was really
really good.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Instagram has been kind of the backbone of social media. So we did it for Instagram a couple years, Facebook a couple of years, and now
I have we have a TikTok, but it is me.
Yeah, she's all over TikTok.
It is only me.
I'm never on there.
It's only me. But now it's funny because like you'll see a lot of stuff where I make fun of me. And it looks like it's coming from his point of view, but it's actually, like the most recent reel or whatever, we were in Belize, and it was perfect because his face was just perfect for it. That is like a point of view. And I said, POV, she's hit 3 curbs and said, oops, 6 times. And now I'm thinking I should have driven. And it's like, we're literally bumping, like we're bumping up and down the road, and it stops because it's like a cap cut thing. It's this TikTok like app that you can use to do different like, cuts and stuff, and his facial expression is like and it's just perfect. Like,
oh man.
Like, man, cut it out. I do not drive fast. I was first in my class of driving at the academy, so don't even come here with me. I can slide it inside.
First in class.
Yes. I used to
I got a TikTok. I got about maybe 10 posts, maybe.
Okay.
And then I was on Vero for like 362 seconds, and then
362 out the second. We haven't been more, we haven't posted.
Yeah.
Let's start with that one.
We're pushing hard on YouTube, Instagram. We push on Facebook, but it's just kind of a byproduct of Instagram right now.
Yeah, same.
We just answer all our messages. We stay on our emails like crazy. And we actually have a new email, which we're going to be starting to push, because when we did the LLC and starting to restructure a business, the correct things that were done incorrectly at the beginning is the correct growth. You don't want to have a Gmail or a Yahoo. You actually want, your business to be, info at flawless designer creations, .com, which is one of those paid servers where you have to pay for that service every month. But you actually build, credit lines and things of the sort through banking, bank accounts, and they never, and that's kind of a little cheat code for everyone to know. They never want to see at Yahoo or at Gmail or any of that stuff.
They want to see your own business IDs, basically, because you're building personal credit, but you can build actual business credit as a business, and it doesn't enter into your personal stuff.
And then a lot of business lines of credit, another little cheat code, a lot of business lines of credit, which we don't have any, thankfully. We don't have any loans or anything.
Thank you, goodness. Let me tell you, they sent me 2. We've had 2. They sent us 2 letters. Especially this past week. Like, oh you are pre-approved up to $300,000. I'm like, yeah, no.
The thing about business lines of credit, a lot of them is nearly like no interest. A lot of them are interest-free loans. They kind of itching for you to put your business in debt. So.
Yeah, no, thank you. Listen here, PPP, you just take it.
No. PPP loans over here. Oh man!
So you talked about like early mistakes, and that was going to actually be one of my questions. So, what are some early things that y'all now look back and say that was a mistake, and kind of what did you learn from that?
Honestly, we've been blessed, but I will say, I will go out on a limb and say, it's gonna be against the popular belief.
Yeah.
But
here we go.
The being apprehensive in the earlier stages, I think hurt us. It hurt us big time. Meaning when we, take an extra couple days to think about whether we needed to make certain purchases, we should have jumped out the car immediately. Hindsight being 2020 on a lot of different projects, a lot of projects that we're kind of ahead of in the industry on a gecko market. We kind of was dragging our feet when we got into it. We should have never drug our feet, which made us learn from our mistakes with the snakes. And everything that we see now, even though we joke back and forth about being, so much into it financially, nothing's foolproof, but we've wrote out a very good business plan for it. And it all makes sense, even in a recession. So that's the exciting part about it.
Gotcha. Anything else?
And I think the one thing that if I could go back and, kind of change my attitude about certain things and us and together as far as efficiency in our business, because we had a lot of practices that, and truthfully what we do, I guess, is called the unpopular opinion. But actually, if you really delve into it, most larger scale breeders deal with their collections in that way, as like rack systems versus bioactives and stuff like that. It's just more efficient and it's better for the health of the animal and all those things. It allows you to, keep eyes on them a lot better and just streamline your whole business. And because it makes you a lot more efficient, it makes you a lot more observant of things. Yeah,
because I forgot that we transitioned from,
we did all big glass
bioactive
and terrariums and making backgrounds.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
We learned though, because it was nice as far as to look at if you're going to have like centerpiece inside the home, but as far as functionality, it didn't work that well. It worked, but it's the equivalent of, you having some DG pod hypo eggs and not even know you had them. And they sit there.
And they rot.
Because they sit there, they dig down, through their median and lay eggs. Because you're doing a bioactive and it's supposed to be the best thing for them. But in our opinion, for a breeder setup, it is not.
I'd say this, like maybe less than 50. It might be okay because you can monitor a smaller amount a little bit better in,
and even then I still
time frame that's still even
your females, your males, yes, because your male's not going to lay eggs. But your females, it just doesn't make any sense. You're dealing with certain very high dollar projects. Even if they weren't high dollar, you're risking, losing clutches of eggs in substrate,
losing babies,
it's like why
all that kind of stuff.
So that's stuff that we would definitely change our approach on, which is why we did all the ARS.
It would have saved us a lot of initial investments if we had.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just like it, really, we delved into it, and obviously, when you're beginners, you're going to have a beginner's learning curve. But just finding what is the most efficient is the best.
Right. And you're not always going with, the popular opinion for the moment. You got to research what's your goal. Does it fall in line with someone else's goal? And not to spark an argument, but it's the same equivalent of a ball python breeder versus a hobbyist or a keeper. Because they've been clashing at it for years. Which setup is better, tubs or a glass enclosure? Oh, you keep it this way, you keep it that way. It's the same concept.
I think it's just being afraid to, when you're first starting, afraid to jump out there and pick this over that because you don't know. And once you know that either setup is fine. It's just what works best for you and your program.
Absolutely. Because what works for somebody else might not necessarily work for the other person. Like even like from breeder to breeder, and just kind of like how you do things, like what works for somebody in Florida might work differently for somebody in
Yep.
Seattle or Wisconsin
Oh
or
yeah.
something like that.
Jersey.
Just because of like
You never know what their
geographic difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Humidity and climates.
Humidity and
Exactly.
climates and different things.
Yeah.
It's just what
Exactly.
works for one doesn't always work for all. So
Like here, we don't have no problems with humidity.
Where
Like,
you at?
in Florida,
Okay.
Oh,
in
okay.
Florida, yeah, and it's
I think you would
it's swampy humid here.
It's really humid down
Yeah,
here.
like
Florida's
especially like
that's a rough
say
state.
again?
That's a rough
Say-
state. Y'all,
Yeah.
you're in a rough state.
yeah, yeah.
Florida and your wildlife.
Oh yeah, they
stuff.
attacking
Like,
Florida like crazy.
Bless your
Yeah,
heart.
there's a lot of things rough about Florida right now.
Are you doing Daytona?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so we only been doing this since 2020, but we done been to Daytona every single year. 2020,
that's cool.
2021,
Okay.
22. We'll be
We're
back
planning
this
on
year.
this being our first year
We're
doing
planning on
Daytona.
coming. Mhm.
Okay. Are y'all vending or y'all?
Planning on vending.
We'll see.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
planning
y'all
on
setting
vending.
up.
We are a
networking.
little nervous as far as trying to make sure we have everything in order.
Yeah,
we
we
have
don't.
so many friends that actually vend that tell us the horror stories about going down to Florida, having everything set up, and they can't display any animals because they didn't get this permit or that license or this roster.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? So we got to figure out all of that stuff to make
I'm sure y'all been talking with Bob though about it because Bob is always at
Yeah.
Daytona.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
Are
that's
y'all setting up with Bob?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we
Okay.
definitely. So that's who's going to be our insight as far as that. But you know, he's always running all around every NARBC show. He's getting ready to go down to Arlington. I think it's this weekend.
February, yeah, it's this weekend.
It's this weekend. So yeah,
That whole group, Road Warriors.
Oh yeah, Josh. You know, Josh, Jack, man, all those guys are really, really cool.
Yeah.
Josh and Jackie with them.
Jackie's really nice. Yeah.
Tristan, all of them.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all going to Tinley in March?
We're trying.
Yes, we're supposed to be in. So there's a story behind that. So we were waitlisted for like 3 years. For Tinley.
I guess really 4. Now.
It's 4 years now.
Yeah.
And then they finally told us, hey, we know, do Schaumburg and you're in. Okay. So we drive out, we do Schaumburg.
We were not in.
We were not in. So we still go to the Tinley show.
Yeah.
I think that's when we saw you up there as well.
Yeah.
So we go to the Tinley show. We had a blast. And after the Tinley show, we're talking to Bob and Brian. And they're like, okay, we see you doing all the legwork. Okay. You do St. Louis.
You're in.
And you're in. So what do? We go, we try out, we do St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I called Bob and Brian yesterday.
I had emailed a couple of times,
and we're still waiting for our. I literally asked Bob on the phone, like, listen, this is Will, Flawless Crescent Geckos. We need you to send us our invoice so we can pay you.
Yeah.
That was the conversation. It's not a what if, just like, hey, I need you to send me my invoice so I can get you paid.
So I can get my table.
So his question was, he said he was sending me the invoice. He just needed to know how many tables, how many booths we need. He said, hey, we need 2. He said, all right. So that's where we stand, but we haven't received our email yet. So we're going to see what's going to happen because I'm just going to
hopefully come through for you, bro.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think
we're
we have
just
a lot
gonna
to
bug
offer.
them until they.
I think we have a lot.
Yeah, y'all definitely need to bug them. Like, hey, I need my invoice, my 2 tables.
Yeah. 2 tables.
I need my invoice.
We're like, hey, we're gonna bring a small, modest setup. We need 2 tables because we normally do like an end cap. We could do an Allen. We have a huge setup because again, we like to put that visual on. It's not about the selling of the animals. We don't even care. We want you to see all the stuff that we're working with. See some of the projects where you don't get to see them in person, and kind of change different people's perception when it comes to the geckos or hopefully soon the snakes.
Yeah, we want to change the perception that there have to be one or the other, business or hobby. I mean, it can literally be both.
Exactly.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're getting close to 2 hours. So I got some wrap-up questions for you.
Cool.
Okay.
Before I let you get out of here and enjoy the rest of your night. So the first one is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Not Newark, New Jersey. I know that.
No.
Anywhere but North.
I think for me, anywhere where there's not peopling. Like I don't like sand. Like I don't like sand, but I love to see the ocean, and I'm talking like turquoise blue water. So anywhere where I don't have to deal with sand, but I can look at the ocean like that.
Okay, you're not gonna see the good turquoise blue water in Daytona.
He says,
but that Gulf water.
Gulf water, yeah.
Say
Gulf
again.
Water.
Yeah, the Gulf water is nice. Like that's my favorite.
Me, I sound so horrible. I'm an introvert. So for me, I want to be out in the sticks in the woods with like my nearest neighbor is like 10 miles away from me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that in and of itself, that's our plan. But like, because we want to be in the middle of like 20 acres and nobody around us and be a little bit more self-sufficient. But like,
go hunting.
Yeah. If I had all the money in the world to go wherever I wanted, I'd have my own darn island. I'd be in the middle of it and like just.
Hey, we seen some for sale in Belize.
We sure did.
Like entire island.
Entire island? Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't crazy expensive either. It was very interesting.
No,
Like how much?
Like $1 million for the entire island.
Less than that.
Yeah.
There was some that were like, like maybe 280 something thousand or 320.
Oh wow.
Small, like off
for a whole island.
But you had no resources, so you had to bring all your resources in. So I don't know how much that would cost. The $1 million island that had resources on it. So
Belizean, like their whole system, like I like it.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been to Belize, man, but it's definitely a place to go. We actually got taken out into the ocean.
He can't swim.
Between the reef and the island.
Right out there, you can't swim.
It was funny though because you had the captain of the boat. They would be also the fishermen.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around like where are the poles, like how they're gonna fish. You know, they were fresh catching things.
With their
guy literally took his shirt off and dove in the water. And I'm like,
come back out with lobsters.
Yeah, coming out with lobsters in his hands. I'm like, what in the world?
Good tasting lobsters.
Oh yeah. Oh, and literally cooked it up, conch.
I caught
all that. Yeah, cooked it up on an island. You know, and some foil and everything. He cut up a pineapple for us and mixed it all in. Man, this was the best seafood I ever tasted, man. It was interesting. But you operate on a different
system. How about freshly caught? For real.
Yeah.
Real freshly caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somewhere like
with
that.
Straight Aquaman.
Oh yeah, real, sure.
No,
real life.
No, it's Aqua Woman and hydrophobic.
Hydrophobic.
Yeah, it's hydrophobic. He don't need to be in water. Period. He finally kind of halfway floated a head out, like it was like water and up to his neck.
She exaggerates.
No, I'm not. Look, this man sunk at 3.5 foot of water, and I had to pull him off of the bottom of the pool.
I don't float.
Save him. And 3.5 foot of water. You're almost 6 foot tall. Stand the hell up. Like, I'm standing over him, freaked out. I'm like, why is he not getting up?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I had to pull him all the way up. When he came out, he was like, I'm like, why did he not stand up? I don't know. I'm like,
she's crazy.
Oh my God.
Hey, I'm laughing with you, bro, because I'm not a good swimmer either. My son is like a fish, bro. Like, and he be going to the deep part of the water too. Like, I saw this meme. It had like, it was a beach, right? And so it was like a 1, a 2, a 3, and like all the levels went like further and further out. And the meme was like, "Which one are you?" And my son was like a 5, really, because he'd be so far out there. Like, it'd be scary because like I can't swim that well. So, bro, something happened. Like, it's crazy. Like,
I need floaties for the floaties.
He does. Look, people who know us know the story about Mexico and the Mexican jungle and him jumping off into the daggum 30 foot, 50 foot of water and taking me with him. Lord, it was crazy because we went out to the excursion and they tell us we're going to swim. And I'm like, we're not swimming because he can't swim. And so I like going to take my seat at the top of the bleacher stairs because it's literally like a 30-foot dump off into a probably 50 plus foot of water, you know, and it's green water and you can't even see what's under it. Like I turn around, he's taking his shirt off. I'm like, what are you doing? He says, I'm going to do it. I'm like, no, you're not. You can't swim. And he's like, they have life jackets. I said, babe,
hey, we got
you need 4 of those life jackets. That's for toddlers, man. Like, you only live once, babe. I was like, we're going to die today.
Hey, but like I said earlier, you got to roll. It's time to roll.
Oh, we did it. Sure enough, we did it. We jumped off, and then my top came off, and it was just a situation.
Yeah, with my son, I be trying to balance, right? I be trying to balance between like letting him do his thing because he's a really good swimmer, like really good swimmer, and not being how like my mom was when I was young. Because like when I used to go out there in the water, she couldn't swim like at all. So she'd be like, "Don't go out there, don't go out there. I can't drink all that water. Don't go out there." And that was it prevented me from going out there and doing more. So I be trying to balance, but at the same time, way out there, like, bro, can you just come in a little bit?
You just come in a little closer.
Just a little bit, bro. We'll go to the beach and he just be in the water the entire time, pretty much.
Oh yeah, nah.
Yeah, he like Michael Phelps, somebody, bro.
No, trust me, the beach don't need to see you. Lord, scary times.
What other question you got for us?
Yeah.
All right. So if you won $10 million tomorrow, how would you use it?
If I won $10 million tomorrow,
bury my 20 acres of wood. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily be conservative with it. I would
cannot take it with you.
You know,
right.
I would start trying to help structure probably a game plan for the children would be number one. And do it in a way where they don't know. Like some type of secret trust fund where, you know, something happens or they hit a certain age and they get that secret guy, give them an envelope. Because I do think, you know, they need to kind of find themselves and figure out life and understand that, you know, things in life don't come easy. You got to work hard. I think that's the hardest thing to teach our children.
Because you want to give them everything
you
want to give them
everything that you didn't have, but also try to teach them work ethic, you know, and in the grind. And we got it's not a joke, but we got a saying here: you got to have that dog. You know, you got to have that dog in you, and it's very hard to teach that when they're not growing up in the same environment that you have, or the same, you know, situation that you have. So that's what I would do with it. I would probably structure out 90%, 95% of that towards somehow the family as a whole continuing on some type of legacy, you know, your children, the children's children, and try to create wealth with those riches.
And I try to,
that's pretty much it.
I would try to give back to those that have given so much to us. I have a few people like in my life that they're like irreplaceable types, you know, they're with you for your whole life. And
thank you, baby.
That's not your baby. No, he is irreplaceable. Look at this face.
Oh my God.
But yeah, those irreplaceable people that have done so much without the intention of it being given back to them at any point. You know, they just give without regard to what's in it for them. Those are the people, and it's like this many, but those are the people that I would make their lives easy.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that would be my only other thing.
Nice.
And I would take a vacation, like a really nice vacation.
And what's one question y'all wished I would have asked y'all, and how would y'all have answered it? Feel free to answer separately or together.
One question. I guess off the top of my head, I guess, how do we feel about the industry now, reptile industry now as a whole, and our thoughts on the direction?
He did ask that.
Did?
Yeah.
Direction of the industry?
Yeah. Yeah, because we talked about having 8 billion people. Anyway, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Well, that's where I was going with it. I think we did kind of get a little sidetracked, but that's where I was going with it, though.
Oh,
That's right.
okay, so
He did.
I think, yeah, I think we did get sidetracked. That's what it was. So I think the industry
I got you.
is in,
Appreciate it.
like everyone said, the adjustment phase, or what you would call a correction. And I think just like any time before, it's going to snap back probably even stronger than before. I think you can't. It's like trying to turn off the internet. You can't do it. Even more so, like back in the day when we used to all be in school. If you get in trouble or something, you know, your parents don't know until they get home from work. There were no cell phones. It was none of that stuff. Now you find out everything instantly. You know what's going on. So some of this technology you can't take back is what I'm saying. So therefore, which is what I was talking about as far as vendors and attitudes and things of the sort, they're going to have to figure out a way to become better people in general, let alone salesmen. But if they choose not to, they're just going to become obsolete and they're just not going to be able to sustain themselves. But I think the hobby as a whole, the industry as a whole, is going to snap back even stronger. But it's going to create more avenues like Morph Market and online sales. And it's going to be more of unfortunately, I think it's going to be more of a hangout and a get to know people better at the shows. And it's going to continue that way as more of a go to shows, introduce children into the hobby, into the animals. And there's always going to be animals at shows. There's always going to be big purchases at shows from breeder to breeder. I think it's going to be not necessarily people investing as customers in high dollar projects, if that makes sense. I think they're going to have them so readily available. If you're looking for something specific, I go on Morph Market or whatever resource and find what I need just like that. And at the shows, it's going to be more people, breeders moving, like we said, more of their byproduct stuff they were shooting for and didn't hit odds. And they have a platform there now to offer the youth entry into the hobby. So it's good all the way around the board. I think that's the direction.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Anything to add on to that?
No, I think I'm just here for the ride. Yeah, I'm just excited to be here. So, what is that? That I'm here for the food.
That's what's up. Yeah. Well, Will, just been great.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I think the one question he didn't ask is, can I see the ring?
Oh my gosh. Nobody wants to see.
Yeah. Let's
put you on the solo.
Yeah, he asked me to marry him. So we're getting married in October 1st.
Oh, nice. Congratulations. Congratulations.
He makes it to October.
Okay. Whatever. But October 1st, and I think we've decided we're going to live stream it.
Hey, that'll be dope.
That's it.
Yeah. I'll be the one clearing his throat when they ask.
Does anybody have any objections? Like, fool, you're the one that started this. You're the one that actually made this happen. So
that's what's up. Congratulations on that.
Battery.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Look, our battery just died on the actual camera. So you can hear us still, right?
Yeah, I can hear y'all, but y'all frozen.
Yeah. Give us like 2 seconds and it will be back. Oh, October 1st is somebody's wife's, Main Squeeze Reptile's wife's birthday. Yeah. Mine's the 21st. So, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be an exciting time.
What camera do y'all use?
It's a Sony.
This one, and that's the other thing. This specific one is the ZV-1.
Yeah.
But we have a few different cameras that we utilize.
Come on, camera. There we go. It's back.
That was something I meant to ask you about too, because I heard you talking about it on Under 1,000 podcasts when y'all was on there with Gershon, and y'all was mentioning y'all got a bunch of different. Because I think you mentioned that you were a Canon guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I love Canon. We have the M6 Canon and the T6i Canon. Love them. DSLR DSLR cameras are the way to go, but mirrorless is the best thing for us at the moment. But this camera we're shooting on now is really it's her camera because she needs things that's easy to use because we're ADHD. She just like pushing anything with a button, including me. She like pushing it. So we just wanted
You're
to
not
get
gonna
something
have a bit of goatee left by
nice and high quality where we could do video on the go. So we kind of
It is
utilize
true.
multiple cameras.
because I break things real easily too.
And she thinks the fix, like when her phone isn't working, is just bang it on the counter. And I'm like, baby, if it was broken, it's broken out.
Nope, it's every time. Can't do that with camera.
Yeah.
It worked with the remote though. For the TV.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Just shake it around a little bit.
Yeah, so you see, working perfectly.
Does it work?
No.
Oh, dang.
We
But
appreciate
it has been a blast, man. I've been looking forward to this all week. It's been a blast, man. I knew I was gonna be laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Very thankful.
We had fun.
appreciate
Thank you.
man.
We
Definitely.
appreciate it. I was looking forward to this one too.
And we definitely gonna keep sharing your content and showing support because you're gonna hit that that threshold real soon.
Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Likewise. So speaking of content, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Okay, so we have Flawless Crested Geckos on YouTube. We have Flawless Exotic Creations on YouTube.
Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook. We have Patreon for
Yep.
Flawless Crested Geckos. Don't have one for Exotic Creations as of yet. You can find us on Morph Market, and it's one profile on Morph Market.
And TikTok.
And TikTok. Yeah.
So reach out, give us a follow. So
Yeah.
we appreciate it.
Oh, and don't forget, we have our website. So
Yep.
Flawless.
Oh, and the website too.
Yeah, and it's flawlesscrestedgeckos.com.
Yeah, and you're gonna want to go there and sign up to the email. We don't send you a bunch of emails, but when we do send out discount codes, it goes to your email. You'll have it there.
Yes.
Nice. That's what's up. I know I put several links in the description of this video, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you.
At least 2, 3, maybe even 4 links. Everything that I found, I put in the description of the video. Do y'all have a link tree?
Actually, we do.
Yeah, we do. We have
Okay, so I might have put the link tree because I make these videos like, I made like the whole setup like probably like a month in advance, and so like sometimes I forget like what I did where, you know what I'm saying. But if I saw a link tree, I definitely put the link tree. So definitely links in the description of this video. Appreciate everybody coming out in the chat. Really appreciate all the support. Make sure y'all supporting US Art Florida. We need memberships, we need donations, and we need more and more people to know about it. So tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Again, thank y'all for coming out. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to follow the guests everywhere that they are on social media. Definitely show that support. Appreciate everybody for coming out. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.